but not forward. All right. Security deposits, it's not needed in forward, but it's in future because agent is involved as an online platform. So you need to maintain some kind of margin, some kind of security deposit. Clearinghouse, both kind of things are handled in forward contract by the bank, but here it is handled by a clearinghouse. So clearinghouse function is basically maintained by the forward parties itself. No separate functions are needed, but in future you need a separate fee for that. A separate, platform is basically handling as your clearance department, whether your, remittance has been, whether the buyer has sent you the remittance or not. So this kind of stuff. Regulation, they have their customized regulation. Every bank has, every financial institution has its own regulation, but here standardized. If you're doing in commodity trading, their rules are going to be applied. If you have National Future Association, their rules are going to be applied on everyone with the same rules. But here, every bank has its own rules. Liquidation, so this is more liquid, future are more liquid rather than forward. So forward more settled by actual delivery, but you can also do NDF as well. But in this, the cost is lower, but in offsetting of the forward, it has a higher cost because it is customized need. But for futures, the offset cost is very small. Transaction, yes. Okay. So transaction cost normally is set by spread. They're gonna difference between bid and ask, but here it is the negotiated brokerage fees, percentage of transactions like that. They will be negotiating the fees from you. So there's only a difference between that is it is more standardized, more regulated, and here it is more customized, not cost efficient. Future is cost efficient because it has a minimum offsetting fees, it has a higher offsetting fees forward rate. Now, pricing of the future is same like forward contract, what we have done in our also example that we did as an individual class activity. But only thing is that the credit risk of future currency contract is that because in customized, you know the financial institution and financial institution know you. But in stock exchange or mercantile exchange, or in not currency exchange, sorry, not stock exchange, in currency exchange, mercantile currency exchange, you don't know the other party. In that case, credit risk arises, whether the other party gonna satisfy my claim or not. If I am benefiting, maybe the other person, is not agreed. In that case, the clearinghouse of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, they impose a margin. So if the other party is not paying that, so they will be paying from the margin to you, so that the transaction is going to be honored, right? So the fluctuation of the margin going to increase or decrease with respect to the risk. The greater the risk, the greater is the margin required. All right, it means you need to deposit certain amount of money with the exchange before you do any kind of transaction, like what we do in our Taobao purchase or online purchase. So the sellers, they have deposited the fee with the online platform like Alibaba, Taobao, or Tmall. So if they didn't send you the product, you can contact to the Alibaba or Tmall. They will send you the money back without even discussing the sellers. They will see the order that okay, the shop owner didn't honor the didn't deliver the goods or late or damaged goods. They will send you the money, and they will cut from their margin. All right. So this is like that. So credit risk is going to be reduced with the imposition of margin requirement. So firm can use futures. Yes, they can use futures as well. So what if a firm or you need to hedge your payables? Payables means you need to pay, which means you are importing raw material and then you need to pay the currency. So in this case, you purchase the futures, like we purchase the forward. So the purchase of the futures contract locks in the price at a firm can purchase the currency. So let's see the example here. So Taton Corporation orders Canadian goods, and upon delivery, they will be needing 500,000 Canadian dollars. All right, US company imports from Canada and they need to pay 500,000 at the time of delivery. Thus, Tanton enter into a purchase future contract by locking in the rate. Okay, so by holding future contract, Tanton does not have to worry about the changes in spot rate of the Canadian dollar over time. So if you are worried about receiving the foreign currency, you would sell the forward and future. So the sale of the future contract locks in the price at which firms can sell the currency. So examples are Carla Corporation sells future contracts when it plans to receive a currency from export. Okay, so what is your biggest exchange rate when you are receiving money? That the foreign currency may decrease. So in that case, you will become a seller of the contract. I will sell you at that point so that you can minimize your risk. So if Carla expect that the foreign currency will depreciate against their home currency, by selling future contracts, Carla locks in the price at which it will be able to sell the currency at its settlement date. All right. Now closing out of a future contract. So sellers of the currency future can close out their position by buying identical future contracts prior to settlement. So in that case, offsetting. How you can offsetting? If something happens and if you need to, make the offsetting stuff, how you can do that? Let's see that here. On January 10, the Tacoma Corporation needs Australian dollar. In March 19, when it orders supplies from Australian dollar. Consequently, Tacoma purchases a future contract specifying 100,000 Australian dollar and settlement is March. All right. They are discussing the terms and conditions for purchasing in July and delivery going to be in March. So they purchase future on March. On January 10, the future contract is priced at 0.53. So if they purchase into a, if they enter into a future contract, all other rate becomes negligible or ignorable because we will be settled on the base of future rate. On February 15, Tacoma realizes that it will not be needed and supply from Australia. So it reduced its production level. So therefore, it has no need for Australian dollar in the March. So basically, they canceled the order from Australia. Now what happened? From January to February. It means they already purchased the future. And after 1 month, they realize that they don't no longer needed that. So they will be in offsetting position. So on January 1st, they purchase, they need Australian dollar mean they purchase. So they purchase the future here on January 10. And now in February, they sell the contract with the same settlement price, settlement date of March. So in that case, it is offsetting. So they found out the future rate is 0.50. So the difference is 0.03. So that would be their loss. Rather, actually sending 100,000 Australian dollar to there and then from the seller, they just deal with the differences. That's it. So on 19, the settlement date, Tacoma offsetting position, the Tacoma loss in the future going to be settled as follows here. On September 1, step 1, on January 10, they enter into a contract. At the settlement, they will be delivered Australian dollar. The price of the contract is 53,000. All right. Now they sell Australian dollar at 0.5. So the price of this contract is 50,000. So at the settlement date, they sell at 50,000. They buy at 53,000. Difference is 3,000 loss. So most currency futures are closed even closed before the settlement date, because it is for sure. So when you enter into the condition here, it is for sure, because no matter how much is the spot rate in the market, increase or decrease, you will be dealt with the future rate. So rather to wait on 19th of January, you will say that, okay, we are no longer waiting for 19th of the March. Just pay the money here, the difference 3,000, and contract is cancelled. Is fulfilled. That's it. Rather just waiting for 19th of March, because it's, you can see that whether it is 16th of January, 18, 19, 20, 1st March, 2nd March, until 19, you have incurred 3,000 loss. Whether you pay on March 19, whether 16, it would remain 3,000. All right. So most of the contract, they will say that rather to, rather to wait for, you can say that for till 19th of March, let's close it prior to 19th of March. You can also speculate. Up till now, what we have discussed, we discussed hedge, how you can reduce the risk, and now how you can benefit from that. So we are about to, I think, okay, more. Okay, let's end our discussion here. So up till now, what we have discussed the uses of forward and future for hedging. For speculating purposes, let's meet after a week, and then we discuss the speculation purposes. Okay. Any question up till now? Oliver, Aramina, PD?
No question. Thank you, sir.
PGA?
All good, thank you.
No questions, sir.
So good. Thank you.
Okay. Tiffany, no question? Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop the video here. Okay, see you next week. And I'm going to be uploading the video and the material on our both platform. So you can visit over there and download. Meanwhile, read the reading at least once, so that you will be able to grasp all the knowledge here, so that there will be no more confusion. If you still have any confusion, you can contact me through my WeChat ID. Please post your question on the WeChat group. Okay?
Okay.
See you next week.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.